Hello guys, in today's episode, before we begin, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss out when we post. Karen tried to skip the line and goes crazy many years ago at a retail store. They had one very long single file line. Then the checkers would call you to an open checkout. I called out a Karen for trying to skip the very long line by telling her as she walked up to the front of the line of 20 people like we're not even there and say, "The line starts back there." This Karen got nose to nose with me, screaming in my face, threatening me, and I didn't flinch, didn't even bat an eye as I told the person I was on the phone with, "Let me call you back." I proceeded to let her know she needed to remove herself from my space and take her ass to the back of the line. She no more important or entitled than the rest of us. She was then removed by security. Well, it did not end there. People started coming back in who just checked out, and another lady was already on the phone with police. The woman was waiting outside threatening to jump me when I came out. I called a PD friend who laughed when he found out it was me causing all these calls. I got a police escort home and Karen got banned from the entire shopping center. Tolerating this behavior only justifies it. I flat refuse. Take care of my child or give me money. My mother witnessed a Karen in the 90s. My mother was at the social welfare office and my dad's ex-wife, the Karen, was at the office that day too. When mum walked in, she witnessed dad's ex in there screaming at a jaded seasoned welfare officer because she wanted more money on her benefit. She claimed that her son would die if she didn't get $50 for the weekend. Her son was cowering behind her, clearly scared by the situation. The welfare officer refused my dad's ex-wife the extra money. She turned around and told her son that this nice man, the welfare officer, was going to take care of him for the weekend. She then turned to the officer with a smug face that said, "Now give me my money." The officer gave her the same smug look, then picked up the phone and called child welfare to let them know they had an abandoned kid in the office. Karen hit the roof. She screamed obscenities, then left the office with her crying child and no extra cash. Checkmate. My mum said it took everything not to piss herself laughing. But she didn't want to upset the kid any more than he was already. Karen wants everybody to move out of her way. Finally found a Karen in the wild, which I never did. I'm British, so this story uses British terminology, such as pavement. I am also on my phone, so I apologize for any formatting errors or typos due to my fat thumbs. My friend and I were walking along the street, and due to some construction work on one of the buildings, the pavement was a bit narrower outside of it. Enough space for two people to pass by at once, if they went single file. Karen is a woman of about 55-60 years of age or so, and she was walking along the street with her family, her daughter, and her two grandchildren who were very young. As we approached them, Karen's family moved to the outer side of the pavement. So naturally, in response, my friend and I moved to the inner side. But not Karen. Karen stopped right in front of me, and we are about the same height, so stared at each other's eyes. "Well, I'm not moving," says Karen, in a very winny and somewhat bitchy voice. Unfortunately, I think this is just how this woman speaks normally. It took me a few seconds to process what was going on. Basically, although the rest of her family had dictated which side we must walk, Karen had decided that she must walk on the inner side. Despite being the obstruction herself, she didn't have to move. My friend and I did. We were in a bit of a hurry, so we stepped out of the way. As I muttered, okay?" Entirely confused. As I watched Karen pass, I looked at her family, and I couldn't exactly read their face expressions. Second-hand embarrassment came to mind. However, all in all, I was just left baffled at the whole confrontation. Karen, hun, you not only wasted my time and yours, but also your family's too. Just move over to the other side of the pavement, love. All that fuss over 30 centimeters. Dad let his kid poo in a bag, complains to head office that he did nothing wrong. Hi, so this is not a skit from Superstore and I don't work in Cloud9, but on this day I really felt that my store would fit the perfectly. I work in a discount retailer as a manager, so it was a Saturday morning and it's a very busy day. All colleagues are on tills and I'm on my break. All of a sudden the guard walks into the canteen and says that a customer complained that there is a girl taking a poo while his dad is holding the bag in the middle of the store. I got very confused when I heard him say that and asked him to repeat that again. There is no way that could be a real situation. I then asked him to kick them out as they are way out of line. He refuses. Another issue. Our guards are useless. Just for show. We both walk to the veg section and he points at the dad and two kids. Luckily the bag was already hidden in the buggy, so I approach them while the guard just stands there like a lemon. Me. So a customer and our guard has seen your kid take a poo in a bag, so I'll need to ask you to leave the store. Guy. Wait, why? What did I do wrong? Me. You don't see anything wrong with pooping in the middle of the store. It's unhygienic, it's disgusting, and it's just wrong. We have operational toilets. You could have asked someone to take you to them without putting any of us in this situation. After I explained to him that what he did is wrong, he finally understood that he won't be allowed to continue his shop. I lead him and the kids out. An elderly customer approached me afterwards saying that she has never seen anything like this in her life and is glad that someone dealt with it so swiftly. I thanked the lady for the compliment and thought the situation is behind us. It was the main topic for the weekend in our store. Today I walk in for my shift and my manager pulls me aside and says that the poop in the bag man complained to head office, but twisted the story in his own way, saying that he was kicked out without a valid reason, that he did nothing wrong, cause there was no available toilets and staff refused to help, so he had to do what any dad would do, that I should be reprimanded, that I embarrassed him. Me and my manager had a laugh about it. I wrote a statement and gave timestamps of our CCTV and we left it at that. The story of the poop in the bag man will carry on forever now. I'll make sure no one will forget it. Hey, at least he used a bag. I was once a front-end manager at a grocery store and we had an adult poop in the corner on purpose. She wasn't even all that embarrassed about it, just mad that she got banned from the store. She was a regular customer who seemed perfectly normal before this little episode. People are nuts. My mum used to work for a hardware store and came home from work one day to show me CCTV footage of a man in a very fancy looking suit walking through the car park, stopping to poop behind a car, pulling a bunch of napkins out of his pocket, wiping his ass with them and then neatly covering his poop with the napkins before walking into the store to do his shopping. The things that go through some people's heads could be worse. I work at a thrift/charity store. Once had a customer come in, take a piece of clothing off the rack, poo on the clothing and put the feces covered clothing back on the rack. Manager couldn't figure out why the store smelt bad until a colleague found the soiled item. Police officer got it bad. Hello, I do not approve of this revenge, but this story must be told. My friend is a daughter of a cop, not just a cop, but the most corrupted cop, a cop that has a heart of stone. His fellow co-workers would bet on who can give the most tickets. They would give false tickets to anyone for no reason. They will joke about the stress that they caused someone for doing so. My friend cannot date nor have a boyfriend. He is very controlling. He doesn't look at women as people, but as objects that he can control. No guy would date her because of him. He even shot one of her boyfriend in the arm and got away with it. She wanted revenge and she got it. A man that went by the name of Gauntro Diminomegalchat offered her a deal. He would give her the perfect revenge if she offers herself to him in the future. She agreed to it. Gaunter is a stranger on a chat site. She will never see nor hear from him again. This guy gave her a perfect revenge. She drugged her dad, the cop, with sleeping medicine. When both her parents were sleeping, she filled his car with bleach and sugar. He crashed the next morning into another vehicle. Engine was destroyed. Car stopped working after the crash. His police station allowed him to bring a police vehicle home and use it until his car was fixed. She followed the next step of Gaunter's plans and cut the brakes. Her dad, the cop, crashed a second time. This time, he ended up in a body cast. She's happy now. She's dating more. He's retired. And so far everything been great. I do not like revenge, but this is an exception. Scary part of this, it's true. Karen tried to skip the line and goes crazy many years ago at a retail store. They had one very long single file line, then the checkers would call you to an open checkout. I called out a Karen for trying to skip the very long line by telling her as she walked up to the front of the line of 20 people like we're not even there and say, "The line starts back there." This Karen got nose to nose with me, screaming in my face, threatening me, and I didn't flinch, didn't even bat an eye as I told the person I was on the phone with, "Let me call you back." I proceeded to let her know she needed to remove herself from my space and take her ass to the back of the line. She no more important or entitled than the rest of us. She was then removed by security. Well, it did not end there. People started coming back in who just checked out, and another lady was already on the phone with police. The woman was waiting outside threatening to jump me when I came out. I called a PD friend who laughed when he found out it was me causing all these calls. I got a police escort home and Karen got banned from the entire shopping center. Tolerating this behavior only justifies it. I flat refuse. Thanks for sticking around till the end. Don't forget to subscribe for more like this.